If you want to sell your Lethbridge home for the best price possible and in the shortest amount of time, you need to understand this one important thing. Hey, it's Carrie Flatla here, Associate Broker at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and Flatla & Associates. So I think a lot of homeowners are missing out on this strategy, this tool, this fundamental, foundational principle of negotiations, and that is positioning. And what is positioning? Positioning really is just understanding where you sit in relationship to the other party or the other parties, as it were. And I'll explain what I mean. So the first type of positioning that you want to do is when you're strategizing before you actually put your home on the market, when you're deciding the price, when you're deciding who's my best buyer, when you're deciding what kind of market that you're in. So for example, maybe you have a house in West Lethbridge. Maybe the value is between $450 and $500, and you need to understand what is the market for this type of a home in West Lethbridge. What is the sandbox that I'm playing in, right? So how many other homes in that price range are currently listed? How fast have homes in that price range been selling? How many months inventory do we have for this type of a home in this price range? You need to understand your home's position in relationship to the market. And then from there, you can come up with a pricing strategy, you can come up with a positioning strategy and how you're going to present that home to the market. And because you want to be in a strong position, you always want to position from a place of strength. And then the second time that you're going to need to really understand positioning, and this is a very dynamic process, is when you actually receive an offer or multiple offers. And I think the ball gets dropped here sometimes, because once you receive an offer, you don't just shoot something back. You need to understand your positioning in relationship to that buyer. There's humanity involved. So hopefully the realtors are going to have a conversation. They are going to, of course, be looking out for each of their clients' best interest, but you want to understand the buyer's position and your position. You want to understand, where each of you are in the ring, so to speak, before you enter into an actual back and forth negotiation, or maybe you decide to accept their offer or reject it. So you look at the offer, you look at the contents of the offer, the condition, the terms, the price, the possession date. Maybe they've written in some kind of special request. Do they have a deficiency tolerance for home inspection or not? Is there no inspection condition? There's so many things to look at in that offer. And then you want the realtors to have some kind of a conversation to position each party, against each other or to work with each other, right? And you want to understand what matters to the other party. How can we get to a win-win situation here? That's all positioning. That is all to do with positioning. As the seller, are you in a soft market and you waited too long for that first offer? Maybe you didn't position yourself correctly to begin with, and now the home's been on the market for a long time. You finally have a buyer, so that might have weakened your position. And that's just one example. You're in a very strong position, broadly speaking. If you put your house on the market, you get 3 offers within 48 hours, So it's all about positioning. And positioning requires some strategic discussion before you cross these thresholds along the journey of selling your home. So before you list, and then once you receive an offer, or maybe you're not receiving offers, evaluate your positioning and adjust. It's a dynamic process. Very important to be strategic. Never forget about positioning. If you have any questions at all, or you want to talk about selling your home, you can call or text 382-7335 or look us up at carrieflatla.com. Remember to like and subscribe to my channels on YouTube and Facebook, and we will see you for the next one. Take care.